dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Tonight, major developments in the Black Jewel bankruptcy case. We now know Kentucky mines were up for bid. That bidding, we're told, ended today. We are waiting to hear if any were placed on the mines and what that could mean for those miners out of work. Some have been camped out since Monday, keeping a load of coal at one mine from leaving Harlan County. Today, the miners and CSX officials reached a deal allowing the locomotive to move, but the coal is still on the tracks in train cars. WYMT's Will Puckett is live in Harlan County near Cumberland with the very latest. Will?
Steve, as the horns of those locomotives blared and the chants of roll coal rolled through these mountains, a small victory has officially been won here in Harlan County. This is video of those two locomotives leaving this area. They bailed on the load of coal that is left back behind there. We are talking tons of coal. More than 48 hours ago, these very miners decided it was not going anywhere and started to block the tracks. But this afternoon, CSX employees came by with the simple message of, we support you, but we need our locomotives. To an agreement they came, and now CSX has their engines, and these miners still have their coal.
With most respect, these guys, you know, they understand, we understand, and we're not, like I said, we're not here to stop anybody from working, but, you know, they got a job to do. But like I said, we all feel that's our coal. You know, we mine that coal. So they're leaving the coal where it is, bringing their locomotive out. No, not at all. Not at all. The locomotive's going through, and we're still going to be right here.
Steve, there is said to be about 100 coal cars back there. The cost of the coal in them amounts to roughly about $1 million. Plenty of happiness around here today, but these miners still insist they're not leaving where they are tonight until they get the money that they're owed. Live in Harlan County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Will, thank you. Today we learned it appears Black Jewel failed to comply with Kentucky state law. It demands coal companies that have been in business less than 5 consecutive years to put up a performance bond to the Labor Cabinet. That bond is required to cover the company's entire payroll for 4 weeks. State officials say Black Jewel did not do this. The company was incorporated in July 2017. Moments ago, we heard from attorney Ned Pillersdorf, who is trying to help find these miners relief.
The pleading we filed essentially says this is not a real bankruptcy. They're not broke. They've just shifted a bunch of assets around, and that Lexington Coal and Black Jewel are the same, and that this is just a scheme to beat these miners out of their wages.
Today, Congressman Hal Rogers released a statement about the situation. He said, quote, I have been in contact with the U.S. Department of Labor, and they are working to support the Kentucky Labor Cabinet's efforts to investigate this issue and help displaced employees find new jobs. We do know Labor Department officials talked with miners today. Many local businesses continue to pitch in to help Black Jewel miners any way they can. One Hazard business is getting in on the efforts. Appalachian Apparel is creating a special shirt with 100% of the proceeds going to Black Jewel miners. Owner Joey McKinney says this is just a simple way to get back to the people in the community who have sacrificed so much.
Everything that the miners are doing over there and sacrificing so much and willing to go through so much and even willing to go to jail for what they believe in. You know, I want to do this special edition shirt.
To pre-order the shirt, you can go to the Appalachian Apparel website or Facebook page. We will also have a link to the site on our website at WYMT.com. Today, we learned of 2 big delays in the Black Jewel situation. A job fair originally scheduled for tomorrow for miners in Harlan is postponed while a company out of North Carolina finalizes a contract. And a hearing in the bankruptcy case scheduled for Saturday is now pushed back until Monday. Officials are trying to figure out how to bus miners to that hearing in Charleston, West Virginia.
Well, after a rainy day yesterday and a little bit of a rainy start earlier today, finally starting to see a beautiful evening, or it's really shaping up to be that. You'll notice as we look at Stonecrest, plenty of sunshine, a few clouds here and there. Overall, those mostly sunny skies. Even looking outside the front porch at the studio here, starting to see some clearing as well. We've seen those partly to mostly cloudy skies, showers popping up around our area all day today. And really, if you're in the southeast, that's really what you saw, those southeastern counties, really along the Kentucky, Virginia, into West Virginia as well, even down into Tennessee. We've been dealing with those pop-up showers and storms throughout the day, but scanning the skies now, finally seeing those get out of here as that cold front continues to push through the mountains. You'll notice temperatures a little bit cooler where we have seen that rain in Hazard, Harlan, Wise, Pikeville in the 70s. The rest of us are still into those 80s. Well, like I said, we've seen some sunshine, just those warmer conditions after the front moves through. Good news is that we are going to dry out, but hanging on to a few of those isolated chances, but weekend still looking pretty good. Have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right. Thank you, Paige. A Southern Kentucky deputy sheriff says he has a long way to go to recover from a gunshot wound, but he's vowing to come back strong. Tyler Watkins was shot when responding to a call in McCreary County. Police say he was nearly killed when he was hit by 2 rounds. The suspect is in jail, charged with attempted murder. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to the deputy today about the night that nearly ended his life.
I remember in the mix of everything, you know.
Tyler Watkins says it was simply a status check that went horribly wrong when he says he approached Mark Dungan and told him 3 times to get out of his car.
And about the 4th time of me having to order him to get out of the vehicle was whenever he got mad, and that's when he pulled a firearm out on me, and that's when the fight started.
One round hit him in the vest, the other just below the waist. He would spend several days in the hospital and has up to 3 months recovery at home.
I'm ready to go back.
Yeah.
I fought so hard to be a sheriff's deputy, and it's not going, you know, this bullet in my gut that passed through, it's not going to keep me out of the game. So
Tyler Watkins says the amount of support he's received has been overwhelming and amazing. He says it's come from the city of Knoxville, this community, the state of Kentucky, and beyond.
My best wishes go out to Deputy Watkins.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell even mentioned Watkins on the U.S. Senate floor.
That meant a lot. That, which I mean, it's sad that he had to mention me in that sort of way, but it was a true honor.
He says what happened to him sends a strong message to all law enforcement everywhere.
You have to, when you're in law enforcement, if you don't treat every day like you could potentially die that day, then you don't need to be in law enforcement.
In McCreary County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The suspect in the shooting faces attempted murder and multiple other charges. A McCreary County grand jury will consider an indictment at their next meeting. The case of a Knox County man charged with kidnapping his own wife and kids is headed to a grand jury. Police say Aaron Dees' wife claimed he forced her at gunpoint to take her and the kids to North Carolina. He denied any wrongdoing in an interview with us, but did tell us they had marital problems. Investigators told us it's believed Dees planned to take his wife to North Carolina with plans to kill a man his wife had been texting. Today, a Pike County man pleaded not guilty to unlawful transaction with a minor and wanton endangerment charges. Anthony Baker is accused of throwing underage drinking parties that included drugs. Officials say the youngest person attending those parties appears to have been 15. A grand jury indicted him earlier this month. Baker's next hearing is November 1st. Officials in Pineville called an emergency meeting to discuss the auction of the Pineville Community Hospital. Mayor Scott Maiden said a meeting was called on Tuesday where the city of Pineville decided to bid on the hospital. Maiden said concerns over the assets of the hospital caused the city to get in the mix. In the meeting, officials said the amount offered would be enough to cover the employees' last payroll. The auction ends tomorrow evening at 5. A video is going around on social media showing a dog being punched in the face. It is hard to watch, and we are not showing very much of it. We do know this happened in Laurel County. Deputies there say they have identified 2 people in the video. One of them, a 17-year-old, is now facing charges. Garrett Weimer reports.
After being questioned by detectives for several hours here this afternoon, the teenager accused in this case was brought out in handcuffs and ankle chains just a little bit ago. He's now charged with animal cruelty and torturing a dog as the investigation continues. Deputies say there's not much they can release at this point because it's still an ongoing and active investigation. We do know an adult and that teenager were questioned inside the sheriff's office this afternoon. It all stems from this video going around on social media. That's all we'll show you. It's graphic. The details themselves are disturbing. You can see a person in the video punching the dog in the face. That dog was later found dead on a county road in East Bernstadt. Investigators say it was also stabbed. That dog's been taken to UK for further testing to figure out what exactly caused its death.
I mean, this is horrible, and this is not something that we look at casually. I mean, we're going to do whatever we need to do to bring people to justice on this.
Now, this investigation is still going on. Deputies say right now they're still questioning an adult inside the sheriff's office right now. They say there could be more arrests to come. In Laurel County, Garrett Weimer, WYMT Mountain News.
Deputies say they charged the teen with the most severe charges they could under the circumstances. The teen was taken to the juvenile detention facility in Breathitt County. The Senate has confirmed Kentucky native Kelly Craft to become the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. We've learned that within the last half hour. This ends a 7-month vacancy created when Nikki Haley stepped down. Craft was confirmed despite Democratic concerns about her inexperience and conflicts of interest. She is currently the U.S. ambassador to Canada. She is married to Hazard native Joe Craft, who is the chief executive of one of the largest coal producers in the country.
Well, we all know we ended July on a soggy note, but does that continue as we head into August? I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
Plus, you'll get a first look inside Eastern Kentucky's newest high school, set to open in just a few days.